and welcome to Mountain Patriot Homestead. I hope you don't mind that today while we sit and visit, I am going to be taking care of doing some clothes, getting my clothes folded, because do any of y'all have that one chore that seems to get pushed to the back burner if you've got anything else to do? Well, mine happens to be folding my clothes, and so I will wash them, and either they will stay in the dryer until I just absolutely have to move them out, and then they may stay in a clothes basket until I think I have a minute to do them, and then I will get them out and start doing them. So again, I hope you don't mind that I'm taking care of this little chore while we visit. And I hope all of you are doing well today. I recently put out a video about companion planting and had said that if anybody was interested in any more of those videos going more in depth into that, to just comment down below. I didn't get any comments on it, and the view time on that video was so low that I suspect maybe that's not a very popular topic, so I'm going to move on. You know, if anybody would like to see more on that, if you will let me know, then I may do some more videos on that. Otherwise, I don't do these videos just to hear myself talk. That may be, other people may think otherwise, but I want these videos to be helpful. As I have said in the past, one of my main reasons of doing these videos is, first of all and foremost, is for my children. So that way one of these days they'll have these videos to look back on when I'm not around anymore, and they can use those to maybe look up something that they had forgotten that I had talked about, and they can look them up and see me actually speaking about it. And also to hopefully help others, that what little tidbit of wisdom you might be able to glean from this stuff, you do find helpful. So if you're really not finding any knowledge or purpose or anything like that in a video, then I don't see much reason in moving forward with that particular topic. So today, I don't have a lot of, let me back up. A lot of these homesteading channels, mine is Mountain Patriot Homestead. My videos are not just about getting out here, how to build a fence, how to put in a garden, how to castrate a bull, how to, do whatever here on the homestead. That's not what my videos are. My videos are eclectic. They're a conglomeration of whatever I happen to be thinking about at any particular time, and sometimes it may be helpful information. It may be a recipe that I can pass along that somebody may actually want to try. It may be some information on how we put together something here on the homestead that maybe you might want to give a try. But a lot of times it's just me visiting with you. And I know that does, some people don't like those type of videos. I understand that, because there are videos out there that I don't really care anything about. So if you don't like these type of videos, I get it. That's okay. Go find one you like. That I completely understand it. But one of the things that had come to mind for today's video was wants and needs. And I think I might have talked about this back in one of my earlier videos about wants and needs, but I guess over this past week, I have really started noticing, and I'll tell you why I've started noticing this. Me and my husband, we are we're not, now he does have his particular television shows that he wants to watch faithfully, you know, every time a new one comes out. Me, not so much. You know, I'll watch a little of this and a little of that, and if I'm going to be a fan of any particular show, it's probably old ones that a lot of people out there may not even know still exist in reruns. But I like the old stuff. But me and him will sit down and we will watch shows that are on Discovery, for example, that can be about, one of the things that we've been watching lately has been people buying property in various places. I think one of them's called Buying Alaska, and another one is something about buying mountain property or something. I don't know the exact name, but anyway, it's people. They'll go to a realtor, they'll tell them, here's what we want, and the realtor gives them a few choices, and then they pick one. Well, I've been noticing while we've been watching these, and for me, sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's entertaining, and sometimes it's frustrating, because people some of them's wants and needs are so different from my own that I'll get frustrated at them, and it's like, you're so spoiled. And then I realize that, you know, sometimes I'm doing the same thing, not the exact same thing, but confusing wants and needs, because I'll watch these folks and they'll meet with a realtor and they'll tell them, you know, we've got this much money to spend, and we want to buy a house this large, and it's got to have enough room for this, and it's got to have this many bathrooms and this many bedrooms, and it's got to have this much property. And then as they go through these houses, I've noticed there's a consistent theme, especially not so much on the Buying Alaska, because they go through folks that are kind of like us, you know, that don't have a lot of money, but, you know, here's they want the basics. And then you've got these folks that are very high end, that want the very high end, but they can afford the high end. So I get those folks. But this other show that we watch, it's all, for most people, it would be expensive homes. Most people I know, it would be expensive homes. But for a lot of these people that are on this show, they're really, you know, it's probably average homes to them. But we're talking, you know, anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million homes, homes. And they'll go in it with the attitude of, we want remote property that's 5 minutes from town. Now, I'm not exaggerating. That is something we watched on one of the episodes last night, that it was like, okay, I'm not getting the remote, but you don't want to be any longer than 5 minutes from town. You lost me. I have no idea what you're talking about. To me, remote is then they have to pipe in, daylight, because I don't know how you can be remote and be 5 minutes from town. I just don't get that. I also don't get these homes that are 5,600 square feet and you don't have enough room to entertain. Who are are you entertaining? Napoleon's army? If you have that many people to entertain, how about you get 50 acres and just turn them loose out there? I mean, it's not a Burning Man event. I mean, how many people can you possibly need to entertain in 5,600 square feet? Or the ones that they talk about, they don't cook a lot, but they'll want double ovens, and in the bathrooms, they've got to have a bathroom for each person in the household. And the bathrooms have to have double vanities, you know, double sinks. And I'm just sitting there I grew up being thankful that we had a pot in the window. That's that's all that I'm grateful for, is we had the basic necessities. We had food, we had water, we had clothing, and we had shelter. That's the 4 basic necessities or needs that every human being needs, okay? But, you know, I watched that show, and it got me to thinking that how many times a day do I say, oh, I sure do need this. I need a nap. I need a cup of coffee. Yeah, I need this. I need that. And I got to think, you know, how much of the things that come out of my mouth that I say that I need, I don't really need. I want. I want a cup of coffee. I sure would like to have a nap, but I don't need it. I want it. And if I had a chance to take a nap, I wouldn't, because I'd be doing something else. So, you know, the whole want and need thing is something I really want to work on, because I think I need to, you know, there's a lot of things I need to control about coming out of my mouth, and I think that is something that I'm going to give some serious work on, is saying want and need. I don't need near as many things as I think I need. Well, yesterday, I'll give you an example. I have not been grocery shopping, actual grocery shopping, in a very long time. I will go and pick up the things that I think I need. A lot of times it's not things I actually need, but things I want because I'm trying to stock up. Well, I haven't even done that type of shopping since before Thanksgiving. And I was looking back on my videos, and I haven't put out any type of a haul since December 5th, when I put out a haul about unadvertised sales. And but the reason is because I have been shopping for my pantry. I have been getting things from my pantry and preparing them. And that is why having a stocked pantry comes in so handy, because you can do that. And it keeps you out of the store, because if you're not going to the store, you're not spending money. But yesterday, I needed some potatoes and needed some mayonnaise. Now, did I need those? No, I didn't actually need them. I could have cooked rice instead of potatoes, and I could have made homemade mayonnaise instead of buying mayonnaise, because I've got the ingredients here to make mayonnaise. But my husband's kind of partial to the stuff that comes out of the jar. And so I went and picked up some mayonnaise, and I picked up some potatoes. And I'll tell you one other thing that I picked up that I didn't know that I wanted until I saw it. And then I needed them. And neither one of them's true. I didn't know I wanted them until I saw them, which is a bad thing about going into a grocery store if you don't need something and you're trying to save money. But when I saw them, I needed them. and I wanted them, and that was cotton candy grapes. I don't know if y'all have ever had cotton candy grapes before, but first time I ever had them was from an H-E-B in Texas, and oh my goodness, they are the best grapes. I love them, but they're expensive. But I got some yesterday because this was the first time I had found any, and I guess it's been 6 years or more, something like that. Long time since I've seen any. And I picked them up, and I have to tell you, I enjoyed some last night, and they were very good. But again, this is one of those wants or needs. So, back to what I was saying about controlling myself. And I'm not a shopper. I don't like to shop. But I will tell you that my Amazon shopping, my online Walmart shopping, any of my online stuff, I have pretty much just quit. I'm not ordering things online. Things that I have went to the store and got, most of that has been things that we did need. Feed for the animals. We've got to have feed for the animals. So that is a need. During the wintertime, they have to be fed more so than in warm weather, because in warm weather, you know, we've got grass and all of that type thing that provides most of their nutrition. The chickens, they are free range, and they pretty much take care of themselves in the summertime because they've got enough bugs and, you know, grass and everything else that they forage. And so we don't have to feed a lot. Our cattle, pretty much, they take care, you know, we supplement, but we don't have to do a lot of feeding. But in the wintertime, and when other things aren't growing as well, we do have to feed quite a bit. So that's something we still buy. And of course, the dogs and cat and things like that all have to be fed. So we do buy feed. That's a have to. We've got to pay utilities. We've got to pay for gas. Now, fuel is something, since I've started this new job, I ride pretty much with my husband every day. In the past couple of months, I have spent, I have filled up my truck twice in that last 2 months. And I still have 3/4 of a tank of fuel. And his vehicle, the one that we go to work in, is a company vehicle. So that has saved a lot. It's went from me having to spend $75 a week to I've spent I've spent $150 in 2 months, and I've still got 3/4 of a tank of gas. So I think I'm doing pretty good there. So, again, back to the basic needs of food. We're covered. Clothing, you can tell I've got plenty of clothes. Clothing is covered. Our shelter, we're good. And water, we're good. Even though I did learn this past week that our water, we are not on a well here. There was never a well drilled on this place. So, and people say, well, why don't you drill one? Well, it cost about $15,000 to have a well dug here, just because of the depth they have to go. Did I say 1,500? 15,000, if I didn't say 1,000. 15,000 is what it costs approximately to dig a well around here, because they have such a depth that they have to go here on the mountain. So, that has been something we haven't done, and they haven't done previously. And so we are hooked up to city water, that because it it goes through so many different, it goes through one place that sells it to another place that sells it to another place that sells it up here. And by the time it does all of that, it's expensive. And then on top of that, we recently got a notice that because the pipes and stuff are so old here, they were put in back in the 70s, not here on our property, but that the water company's lines are so old, they're over 50 years old, that they are in such bad shape that they're going to have to replace all of these lines. And the state's already told them, you've got to do this. You're wasting too much water. You've got to do this. And the cost to do all of this, of course, gets passed along to the consumer. And I asked them this week, okay, for budget purposes, how much is that looking at increasing our rates? And they said 50 to 100%. Now that may not sound like a lot to a lot of folks. However, our water bills can run between $80 and $100 a month, and that's less than 3,000 gallons a month that we use. It's just the two of us, and that's not watering anything, because we don't have the gardens going right now, and I've just about quit watering gardens. They get mulched or they just die, but that's without watering anything, and that's just water for us for the household. Less than 3,000 gallons a month, no septic, no trash, and or no sewer, no trash, just water. And so say it's $100. If they're talking about it could go up 100 or 50 to 100%. Well, you're looking at $150 to $200 water bill every month. And for some people, that may not sound like a lot, but when you could be spending that money on other things, that is a lot. And even though it won't put us in the poorhouse, there are some people out there that are struggling so bad. So they're already trying to figure out, do I pick up my medications or do I put food on the table this week? And then when you talk about, okay, water rates are going to go up, and they're going to go up that much. I mean, we're not talking they're going up $5, $10. We're talking they could be going up considerably. And that's just for people like us who are very conservative with our water and keep our water. Could you imagine if you had a water leak and, well, somebody recently that I was talking to back during the freeze, they had a leak, and by the time they discovered it, they had already, in just a few hours, had used 30,000 gallons of water. I can't even imagine what their water bill would be. But, when the cost of everything is going up so much, and then you talk about what a basic necessity of life is going to go up, that's where it starts getting serious. And that's where people, and I'm talking to myself too, people really need to consider what is a need and what is a want. And controlling our mouths on, I need this. Do you? Do you really need it? Do you need that whatever, or do you just want it? Well, a lot of times if we go back to the basics of I need food, shelter, clothing, and water, is it one of those four things? And you can even nitpick it down from there. Food. Is it food that you need? Is it nutritious? Is it economical? Is it available? is it, you know, is it food you need or is it food you want? You know, shelter, is it, do you have to have the double vanity? Do you have to have room to entertain Napoleon's army? Is it something you need or something you want? You know, I guess I look back at what I had growing up. You know, we didn't even have AC whenever I was a kid. I was pretty much grown well, I think I was grown before Mom and Daddy got a little bitty window unit that they stuck in the wall. We didn't have AC. You know, my grandparents, you know, they raised 10 kids. My great-grandparents, you know, all of those that come up through the Depression, they knew the difference between need and want because they had to choose. You know, do we want to live another day or do we want to flitter our money away? And, you know, apparently they must have made good decisions because that's why we're still sitting here today. And anyway, I don't know if this has helped anybody, but, you know, I just thought I'd sit and visit, get my clothes done, and say hi to y'all again here from Mountain Patriot Homestead. I love y'all. If you have any comments or suggestions about future videos that you'd like to see or things to just visit about, let me know down in the comments below. Love y'all. Talk to you later. Mountain Patriot Homestead, signing out.